Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to go ahead and jump right on into the next map. I'm sorry for not uploading the maps back to back like I usually do. You know, the holidays got in the way a little bit. You know, I kind of just got sidetracked, but we're back onto it now that everything is passed. So we're going to go ahead and jump into St. Marie today. Alright, now St. Marie is super straightforward. Of the 4 hardpoint maps, I would probably say this one is probably the easiest to understand. There's not really that many fluke spawns or anything like that other than 2 hills, I would say, that you could get like a really weird spawn, but you know, I'll go over it when I get there. As for the start-offs, both sides I would say are probably pretty equal in terms of gunfights and anything like that, because it's a middle hill. You know, I said it in my last video, it's super contest heavy. It's like a 25-25 hill. There's a thing about this hill that a lot of people don't understand. It's if you kind of get tunnel vision, you just start flooding through both of the doorways. You know, if you're spawning on this side, you flood through this doorway or courtyard doorway. And if you just like try to get hill control doing that, you're gonna lose like 40 seconds on this hill. Alright guys, so your job on this map, on a first hill at least, is really just control middle map. Make sure that your team cannot get jumped on from mid sandbags, because that's really, like, top control on this hill is really the way that you're going to want to break. Just come to both ends of the cars. Priority number 1, like I said, make sure your team doesn't get jumped on, and then you can start working for middle map kills. That rush is really important, so make sure you watch that. After, you know, make sure no one rushes that, and then you can start playing your gunfights, maybe one in the top window, maybe someone's mid sandbags that didn't decide to rush it, they just wanted to play it. And then if you don't see anything, maybe you can push top. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know about this, but there's the wall bang on this hill that you can shoot through door to door. Off the break of the map, for other players, usually it's just like a typical wall bang. Maybe if you don't play the same role as me and you go to the hill instead of middle map, that wall bang is super important. I'm sure all of you guys have already known about that, but I just wanted to double check, make sure you guys, for those of you that didn't know about it, you can shoot through this wall and kill people running into the hill. Alright, so let me go over the points for first hill one more time. I'm going to do it after the hills instead of at the end of like I did last video. So this hill, maintain middle control, make sure no one rushes that middle sandbag to up top, because top control is a really, really easy way to break it. Don't funnel through the doorways, and make sure you're just maintaining middle map control for your team. Don't forget about that wall bang. So rotation to wine, if you are holding wine, just back up, maybe play hill. I think hill with an AR here is really, really easy. You just play, there's, you know, a bunch of different corners. You just play the alley, you know, lay down, watch barn, anything like that. I like to play the hill on this because it's a really easy way to get streaks. This is one of those like easy hills because they're just like funneling into you. If you get the kills, then you can start pushing out. If someone else has hill, maybe you can go top line to spawn trap them in middle map. Make sure that don't sneak past right, because that's really easy, because sometimes they'll get a statue spawn, and they can just funnel through ammo, which is this building right here, and they can just get to the back and break for free. Just make sure you guys are watching that. Don't be surprised if someone dies over there, if they break through that. Make sure to pick up on that. And then there's also spawning back green, which is like way over there, so they're gonna be coming through right here, which we call this 10. So they're gonna be flooding 10 side into barn, which that's, you know, when you're sitting on the hill with an AR, just them running into you. Or you can go top line if you get, you know, those fresh wave of kills, and you can just spawn trap the middle map. So make sure you're not leaving ammo open, because if this guy sneaks through, gets a kill in the back, then that's when you spawn out, and then, you know, that's when they start to spawn back there, and then you get flipped out. Alright, so breaking this hill is really, really difficult. Nades are going to be really important. So when you spawn back here, you want to try to get a nade over and just like teammate somebody out of the hill just to try to get numbers off the break. Most of the time there's going to be like a sub player, an AR player roaming arches. So you want to make sure you pick up on that. Don't get two-pieced by this guy, because that's when your entire break shuts down, and that's when the enemy team holds 45 seconds. So get through here, just get nades on hill. Make sure you watch arches, because there's always going to be somebody here. And then back L, you know, there's a bunch, like I said before, there's many corners on this hill, so you have to keep an eye out, try to get information before you just rush the hill with a pistol or anything like that. Coming through this, and then they're going to spawn back ammo still, which once you get hill control, if you can dodge nades, it's actually really easy to hold, because like there's only 2 ways they can come, really. They're not going to reflank arches too. Make sure you're doing that, and then if they spawn statue, or if you guys are spawning statue, that's when you can go through ammo. Take it a little bit slower, you don't have to rush a kill or anything like that. Just get to the back, and then if you can shoot somebody in the back, then their team's spawning out, and then that's when your team can break through the front if they are there. Rotation to lot hill. Now, like I said, this hill's the money hill, guys. If you hold this hill, or if you rotate to this hill, it's very easy to get a full 60. So let's say you won old time. Now, if you win this time, traditionally if you win this time, you're usually gonna have to break lot. So we'll do it from breaking first. Yeah, it's also alright. So I'm gonna go over the points really quick for this hill. Number 1, if you're holding, don't get broken from the front, because that's just embarrassing, to be honest. They're only gonna be coming through 2 ways, which is this alley here or through barn. Your AR player should have no trouble watching this. You probably want to body stack 2 people on hill just to hold this, because you can get pretty shitty timing going back and forth like this. Wine control is also pretty huge. If you get the fresh wave of kills, that's when you can go up there, spawn trap them a little bit, push a little bit further out. And then number 3, make sure you don't get broken through ammo, because if someone gets back here and gets a kill, that can usually spawn your team out, and then that's when you lose the hill. So rotating the lot. Now, if you win this hill, you're going to spawn here. So, which means you need to take your sweet ass time, because your team's going to spawn statue, and they're probably going to hit the front. or they're going to go mid-street. If you are getting scrap time, which is usually me, you want to take your sweet-ass time, go all the way around stable, play a kill. Now, doesn't matter how many times your team dies. It does not matter. If you get this kill, they will spawn here. So, if you push up all the way through hay, maybe you snuck past this guy, or if you killed him, if you get all the way back here, your team is going to spawn with you like 9 times out of 10. So getting back here is absolutely huge, guys. You need to do it if you're getting that scrap time, or if you're not. Maybe nobody else on your team is doing it and you recognize it. Just get back here. Make sure your team gets spawns, because if you're flooding the front, unless the other team sucks, you're not breaking. So if you get back here, you win this gunfight. Your team should spawn here, and that's when you get to flip out, and then that's when they start spawning statue, and then that's when you get the time. So make sure, if you're breaking this hill, get to the back, play your kill, take your time. It's not a rush. If you get this kill, that's when you get all the time, and then it's worth it. If you play a little bit quick, you're not as slow as you should be, and then you lose the gunfight, and then that's when you just start flooding the front, and the game gets a little out of control. If you're not the player in the back, I really don't like flooding statue through this front door, because for obvious reasons, you just eat grenades and people are staring at you. It's probably better to play through red and middle map, just to try to get these kills front grandma, maybe help out this guy in the back, maybe sneak through grandmas or something like that, and then you can break through mid alley. I really don't like breaking through the front. It never works. I can't remember the last time in a scrim that we got broken through the front. It's just like, it's really not what you want to do. So, fight through middle map, fight through the back. Don't worry about front. Like maybe you can late pinch it if it's the last guy. It's honestly all I would do, because it's kind of shitty. If you're holding this, there's a couple good spots that you can play. I haven't even been in the hill. There's a couple good spots that you can play. Make sure you have flak on, please. If you have flak and you're sitting on the spot, if you don't, you're going to die, and then you're going to get yelled at by your team, because you're spawning out. So you can watch the front of the hill from here, which is pretty easy. You have FMJ, you can just wallbang a little bit, maybe to get the information. If you know they're in the back and your team is flooding the front to get to you in the hill, you can play the heady on the truck, but you can watch the back here. You can also wallbang all of this, so if they dip behind their corner, you can still shoot through it. Don't forget that. This hill is super easy to hold, guys. As long as you have somebody in the back that doesn't lose that gunfight or plays a good corner, you're not really gonna die. And they're not going to get to the hill, because your teammates are going to be roaming everywhere for you. Just maintain, grandma's control is huge on this hill. Make sure they can't break through the front. Always have somebody watching this, even if it's just one person or just information, because they're funneling through a doorway that you can wallbang, and you're sitting in the hill, which gives you extra points for streaks. Now these back spawns can be a little sensitive, so make sure you guys are worrying about that. That's probably number 1 on this hill, really, is maintain the back. Alright, so we're going to go over the points really quickly for this hill. If you're holding, number 1, do not get broken from the front. That shit is embarrassing. If they're just going to funnel through 2 doorways, if you're sitting here with an AR, it's really the easiest kill in the world. Number 2, maintain grandma's control and roam middle map. Make sure that they can't get to the back without your team knowing, not even necessarily killing them. Just make sure they know they're in the back. Number 3, have somebody back here at all times. If they get through the back right here and win this gunfight, you probably are going to spawn out. Alright, now if you're trying to break, rule number 1, take your time, go around the back like I said, play that kill. Number 2, maintain grandma's control. It's kind of the same for both sides. If you get into this building right here and then you maybe get to the back, then that's when you start breaking. Number 3, don't tunnel vision the front, because maybe you're spawning out, you're getting a little hectic. Take your time and go around, guys. Trust me, it's going to be way better than sitting here feeding them streaks, because you can't kill this guy on the hill because you don't know where he is. This map is all about discipline. Take the time, take the routes to go around. If you start funneling the front like a less disciplined team might, then that's when you lose this map by 200 points. Rotating the green hill. This hill is this is probably the hill that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that has a little bit of a fluke to it. The most important thing on this hill is getting a set spawn. So either you want to spawn hay side or you want to spawn tin side. Now, my job on this hill is to really just roam middle map and play top red, because top red is a huge power position that can often lead to streaks, spawn trap, or 45, 50 seconds on this hill even. But the thing about this is you can either be A, the most important guy on your team, or B, the most useless guy on your team. A, you can be the most important if your team has a side and hill control, but you can also be the most useless if your team doesn't have a side and you're just sitting up here getting kills, which mean nothing. So you have to recognize that situation for yourself, because oftentimes you can lose your team this hill if you're just sitting up here doing nothing really. Off the rotation of old, if you win it, you kind of just want to go around hay side. Make sure you maintain the control of that, because you just have a set spawn. That's really what you want. You don't want to be spawning everywhere, because that's when the map gets a little bit insane. So you're spawning one side. The spawn trap up here is really, really simple actually. If they're sitting behind green, your teammates can kill them on both sides because it's kind of open. But they can't be anywhere on the hill other than behind the barrels. And then if your team has a side, they can see all of that. So that's why I say it's really important, because what you can't see, your team can. Also, that your team would be spawning closer to the hill than you. So if you're up here and your team has hill control, the spawn traps to both sides are 1 into arches, which they're spawning back barn over in the alley right there. And they'll come right here to you. If you know they're up here, they'll probably challenge you actually. or they'll try to flank middle map, and that's when you can just get some free kills. Number 2, they'll spawn into ammo alley over there, and they can just run into you like this. Or they could try to reflank you statue, which then it's kind of just a hurt piece. You gotta hold that. But they're spawning there and there. And then the other side is they will spawn at old, which is that back road area back here. Or they'll spawn in hay, which is that, or stables, that building right there. And you can actually see them cross from up here. So if you're sitting in this window, you can see them run across right there, so that's really good information for your team for spawns. But you have to be a little bit careful because, like I said, this is a power position, so a lot of teams are going to try to take you out from here. So people will go top or bottom red to try to kill you. Now, if you're playing the hill, this hill is super nade heavy. Dodging nades on this hill is very, very difficult. So if you die, don't really sweat it. It's probably not your fault, just because, you know, you're sitting here just trying to stay down and you're just going to get naded. Like, it's not the end of the world. Spots that are probably better to play are actually the barrels. Just lay down behind both of those, maybe. Green is just a free nade kill, guys, I'm telling you. You spawn right there, that's just nade right into the hill from, like, you know, here. It's a free nade kill. Bullet points for this hill. Number 1, maintain a side. Always maintain a side. If you're spawning out, take your time. Go around like I've been saying. Get a side. We suck at it as a team, so that's why I'm emphasizing it to you guys. Take your time, go around, get a side. It is worth it. It's worth the 15 seconds. It is worth the 15 seconds. So, go around, get your team spawns, or, you know, do it as a team, whatever works. Number 2, get red control. If an enemy has red control, that's when this hill can get a little tricky. And you can also be made useless up there if you do play it correctly. So keep that in mind. Red isn't the most important power position on this hill, although it can lead to streaks. Like I said earlier, it can also be the worst position it'll be in. So just keep that in mind. If you can make the guy useless, don't worry about him. Maintain hill control, push through if you can. You know where they're going to be spawning. Don't get shot in the back from middle map. Have somebody there if you can. If someone's top red, don't worry about it. You can watch it from hill. Now this is the one hill in this map that is super random. The spawns can be influenced very, very easily. So you really just want to be keeping track, or try to keep track of where they're spawning. As well, if you start spawning out, don't get, you know, too frantic about it. Just take your time and go around. Alright, so bullet points for this map one more time, guys. I'm just going to go through it really quickly. First hill, number 1, do not let your team get flanked through middle map because they can jump up sandbags. Number 2, worry about this wall banging hill. It's really easy to get kills with. And don't kill your teammates. That's the number 1 thing because it's very easy to do because they'll just run in front of you. Don't kill your teammates. Number 3, maintain middle map. That's really all you need to do. If you're spawning one side, don't die. Because, like, if it's, you know, where the time is right now on hill, actually, like 25 seconds, if you die, you're probably going to spawn out. Just lock down middle map for your team. It's one less thing you got to watch, and then back up and pick up your lanes. Second hill, don't get broken through the back from ammo. Don't get broken through the front because it's easy kills. Streaks are also very, very easy to get on this hill, so try to play for those if you can. If you get all 4 dead and, you know, you can start push up, do it. You know, you can spawn trap from middle map, you can spawn trap from ammo. You can, you know, maybe roam arches with a sub or something like that. It's really easy kills. Don't be afraid to push up on this map, guys. I told you the spawns are super easy to influence, but if you have somebody blocking the spawn in the back, you can push as far as you possibly want to, trust me. So don't be afraid to push out, but also make sure you have someone in the back, because if you do it, then you look like a dumbass, and you spawn your team out. Third hill, lot. Don't get broken through the front. I keep saying it. Don't get broken through the front. It's hard. I know. It's, you know, spawn a statue. If you're trying to break, don't get broken through the front. Hold the back. If you die in the back, chances are you're going to spawn out, so play that kill. Really, it's probably the most important kill on this hill. Doesn't matter how many other ones there are. And then maintain middle map control like red and grandmas and things like that. Lot hill. Get a spawn. Get a side. Doesn't matter which one it is. Get a set spawn for your team that isn't across the map, and then start worrying about red. So if you can get into the hill, you can make the guy top red useless. That's fine. It's good. Good shit. They're spawning out. You know where they're coming from. Don't get shot in the back from middle map. Make sure someone is in middle map. And then if you are the guy top red, try to get as much information or streaks that you can. Set up the spawn traps. Get information for your team. Don't be useless up here. I'm telling you right now, if you get a 15 kill streak and you lose 45 seconds, maybe it's worth it, but it's probably not in the grand scheme of things. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. I don't know what map I'm going to do next. I kind of just get on, see what map I'm feeling, and then go through and do it. I'll try to get these uploaded back to back. I don't know how well that's going to go, so don't quote me on that. But, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Have a splendid rest of your day.